Good morning, everybody. This is Chrisi from SolsticeATR and Balkan Capital Research. I would like to cover the following week for September 9th through Friday, what the outlook is for the market. And what I'd want to do is make it very short and simple as much as I can and brief to the point that you guys understand what I'm trying to give you an idea where we can head to. And from here, I would like to start first of all by looking at actually a little bit more closer on the combination of the four instruments that I use, which is the Fortune 500, the NASDAQ, the Russell, and the Dow Jones Industrial. What I'd like to show you is we've been consolidating. We went down, in May, then we rallied back up, and in August, from the tariff and the Federal Reserve increase, they were talking about interest rates. We dropped, came back up. We consolidated in a box, in a square. If you take a look at the high, which is the 38,671, and the low 37,000, if we can double that distance from here to here, since we broke out of that box, we are above the 61.8. Basically, we're going to travel the same distance from here and here. What I'm going to use is just a simple FIP to show you how high we can go, and go from there on each instrument, so that way you guys have a better idea. If I grab that bottom from here to this high here, we're going to get an extension to the bottom 161. But if I do it the other way around, from this high to the bottom, why is it doing this? Okay, let's just redo it again. We're just going to redo it. I'm sorry. Little error on my end. We're just going to remove it. Come on. Remove drawing. Okay, we're going to do it again one more time from top to bottom. Okay, we're going to grab it from here to down here. And if you noticed, the distance we're going to travel from here to here is 100. So basically, we're looking to go back to the prior high if we do not fail the 61.8 and we hold the 50 simple moving average. So let's go down now to the NASDAQ slash NQ. I know I have a little bit of background music in the background. It's not my fault. I'm out of the office and not home. So I'm traveling. I'm trying to make it as quick as possible as I can so we don't run into a problem. If you look at the high, that 78.95, and the low of 7,226, and we double it to the top, our extension should be basically the channel that we are looking at, which is up here. So we can grab the fib from here to here, and you can see it's sitting right on that fib. Okay, everybody, the upper channel, that's our target, as long as we do not fail the 50 SMA. And this one is no longer valid, so we're going to remove that fib, that channel out of there, remove drawing. But you can notice that we have an upper channel that is parallel to the other one, and we can grab it and look at it that way. Come on, where is it? It's taking a little bit time. I'm not using I'm using an LT4 network, so it's a little bit slower than I expected it. And this is the channel that we are parallel to. So this is the NASDAQ. And we can put an oval up here that you guys will recognize. That's our target up there on the NASDAQ. And that's our upper target in here, okay? Okay, we cleared that first one, remember? We posted it last week in the video if you go back and review it. Let's take a look at the slash RTY. That's a small cap. I'm going to do the small cap first, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit more in detail because there's a little issue that I have with the small cap. We still have not been able, I asked about the 1500, 1510 to hold. We looked up, came back down. We have the 50 SMA, we have the 200 simple moving average. We looked into the 50 Fibonacci fib, could not clear that 30 area. That 30.2 is my DMI ADX crossing one prior. If we can take this area here high, look above the 61, the distance to travel from here to here would be up here in this area, and I'll show you on the fib. So we're going to use a little fib. We start using ovals. We oops, that's an oval. Hold on. Fibonacci. We grab this high here, and we grab this low down here, and there's our extension. And that's our oval up here, and we'll put an oval up here if we can clear that 50 simple moving average and that fib in the 61.8. Remember, I had these two targets, so our next target would be up here in this range if we do not fail the 38.2. And this is the coal mine, the RTY. I always call it the canary in the coal mine, so keep an eye on it. Let's go look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Here it is. Okay. The Dow Jones Industrial Average has broken out of this box, the distance from here to here. We can take the fib. We're going to see that we're going to be a little bit higher than the prior high. So what we're going to do, grab the Fibonacci. I know I'm grabbing those ovals every time I do it. I'm not paying attention. We can grab this high here to the prior low. You can see that 161, since we stay above the 61.8, the 50 fib, we don't violate the 26,500. I think this is bullish to this area here, and that would be our retracement back to the top. Let's just do that. And remember, I'm not trying to create, or you can create a box that, measure the distance from here to here and double it to the top. So our first target would be up in this area here. Okay, let's take a look at the Fortune 500 company. This one I'll break it down a little bit more in detail. Let's just go do it /ES. This is the Fortune 500 company. We became very bullish, and we actually exceeded my first target, that 44, 47 area, which I had marked last week. We can take the distance from here down to here, and our target should be the upper channel. Let's just grab the Fibonacci, and we'll minimize it to show everybody that. We take the high to 44 that we broke out of in the 47 area. We measure that distance here, and our first target would be up here in this channel. So this is our first target to the upside, as long as we hold the 61.8 and we hold the 29.62 area. 68 would be our first target up here. Okay, so we are basically looking up here. Remember, we have this channel from here. This is no longer valid that we broke to, and I kept this channel. I can draw a wider one, which is way up there, but we can take the distance from here to here. That's the 161. If we double it, basically 3080 would be the main target. Well, let's just do this. Well, since it is up here, we'll just mark it. Okay, we'll put a very thin one up in this area. Okay, so this is the Fortune 500 company, and what I'm gonna do is basically go to the monkey bars and show you why I'm looking at it that way. The monkey bars, I have probably the 180 day, a 4-hour chart. This is the area that we got now. One puck that was never revisited. There's one here. There's two here that was never revisited. We continue in higher. So we stacked couple, we have a gap in this area here, and I'll show you where the gap is to keep an eye on the faster time frame. What I'm going to do is basically we're going to be looking back to the prior highs, but what we can do is go to 20-day, 78-minute, and you can see every time we climbed up, this was coming in. This is the area that we broke out of. You notice we revisited, and the 98 area is basically an empty space here. Then we have this one in the overnight, that 05 area, 17. Then we look down in the overnight, we touch this area, the 49, and we clear it. As long as we can stay above this area here, 52. Remember, 62 is a 68, 62 is a danger zone. You can revisit that area. But what's the most important thing? That we do not lose this area here. What we can do is mark it with a box. So what we're going to do is mark it with a box and leave it on the chart, okay? Because this has the monkey bar, it's not going to let me do that. What I'm going to do is go back from style and show it in a standard candle deviate. That's the daily. We go back to the 20-day and I'll show you where the gaps are. You can see it in the overnight. Go to 78 minute. This is one of the areas that we gapped from. You can see it right here. You see it? This is the overnight. When we pushed in the overnight, this is this area here. So what we can do is mark it with a box and leave it alone that way. Everybody can see that we have this area that's a very critical area that we do not want to lose. See, we had it marked here. That was our first target. What I'm going to do is grab this section here, the low of it, go down this way and cross it here to the down to the 45 area. Come on. 47, 45. I'm going to go a little bit below the 47. That was the critical area. Just come on a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. There we go. That should be the area, and we're going to mark it with a different color so people can pay attention to it. Edit properties, and we do when we do a box, just to keep an eye on it. That's our zone that we have to be careful of, and I'm going to mark it with a baby blue color and just go okay. So as far as I am concerned, we're still looking higher on the daily chart. The gray color is basically the overnight area that we have, and the black color is the trading hours that we have, you know, when we're trading. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm gonna just go make sure to keep an eye on Amazon, because this one is trying to come out of the trade, see gapped up, still holding. Our goal is, you know, if we can get to the 1875 and above, that would be great for the bulls. You know, most of the big cap are still a little bit lagging compared to the fortune. He's the Apple, same thing, gap, couldn't clear 2115. Keep an eye on it. Let's go look at Facebook. I'm just going a little bit fast on an FB. There's Facebook. You know, on Friday it was a little bit weak. It couldn't get above the 50 Fibonacci, 50 SMA, and it fell through the 38.2. Let's take a look at Google. So Google had an inside day, but we cleared basically part of that. As long as we stay above the 1210 area, we can get to the 25. We can come back to this up area. Let's take a look at Netflix and FLX. Netflix is still in a down channel. I would like it to see a rounded bottom and eventually clear the 300 area. It can be coming back to the 320 area. That's Netflix. Keep an eye on it. I like that setup. Tesla. I didn't talk any about any biotechs for a while. We're gonna start looking at biotechs as well. This is, you know, in the zigzag pattern. Tesla's in that down channel. If we can clear the 32, 38, our target would be that first one here and eventually up here. If we can fall, if we don't hold it, we cannot clear it. It's the back end of this one. Tesla doesn't, you know, it's in channel mode unless it breaks out, unless, you know, this is the roundness of it, this is the handle of it, and it comes back up here. Let's take a look at when, and I'll do gold and a couple of other equities. It's got a W pattern. If we can clear that, I mean 115 is back to the 50 Fibonacci as well as the 50 SMA. Let's take a look at GC. That's gold. I think gold is done. I need to see a little bit reset. And remember, I said 1508 was my line in the sand. That was our big target from before I had that blue range here. I still like to see gold in this area before we can go long, and the 50 simple moving average. Let's take a look at CL, oil. Oil is in consolidation back and forth in this range. As long as if we can clear that 58, 59 area, it's back off to the races, back to that area up here, and eventually to the prior breakdown where we fell through. It seems to be holding this up channel. As long as we don't lose that up channel, we won't get to the 50 area. If we can hold, we clear that 59, 58 area back to the 63. Let's take a look at ALXN. These are some of the biotechs that I never been talking. I like this setup. If we can clear the 10, you know, in that gap, if you clear the prior, you know, 104, 95, 105, I think it's back to the 38% and 50% fib to fill that gap. So you have that gap. ABBV. This is another biotech rounded bottom. I'd like to clear the 50 back to the upside, the 38 and the 50 Fibonacci in that upper channel because it'll have that up channel here in this one. Let's take a look at GILD and BIIB, and I'll do one more Veritex. Same rounded bottom, trying to clear, look for them. I like the biotech setups because I think there's an opportunity to look for a reset and go long. BIIB. Remember, we're coming into winter, the holidays, the Christmas, after the September, October, you got November, December. Usually the biotech starts. See that roundness? If we can clear this up channel back to the upside, the 245. Let's take a look at VRTX. Veritux is, in a down. It had two wicks down here. We are in the middle of that, up channel, down channel. If we can clear it and we can clear the 185, I think back to the 188, 190 target. And let's go back to the ES one more time. Remember, what I'm looking in the ES, we're keeping those two channel. We're holding that lower channel. And what I'd like to see is basically us going back and traveling all the way to the upside of this channel up here and breaking the resistance. This is why we need to hold the 47 box, 45 area, and the 62 in order to continue higher and finish to the upside, which is our first target prior old channel here, and eventually get to the 3080 if things do work out for us. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching us. Check us out at Solstice ATR and Vulcan Capital Research. Once again, the website is www.solsticeatr.com, and you subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's free of service. Once a week you get this video for free, and look forward to seeing you in our chat room on Discord. Enjoy your week and take care.